For years, UK savers endured low interest rates, watching their money barely grow. Now, with rates finally up, there's a new problem: tax bills on your savings interest. Just as your savings start to look healthier, you might get an unexpected letter from HMRC. Millions are discovering for the first time that their savings interest is taxable, even if their habits haven't changed. In 2025-26, over 2.6 million people will face tax on their savings interest, up dramatically from just a few years ago. The average tax bill, around £2,300, money many hoped to use for holidays, home repairs, or emergencies. HMRC is set to collect over £6 billion from savings tax this year, quadruple the amount from 5 years ago. This isn't just a problem for the wealthy. Over 1.15 million basic rate taxpayers will be affected. Whether you're a retiree, a young professional, or a family saver, understanding why this is happening and what you can do about it has never been more important. The rules have changed, and so has the impact on everyday savers. Let's break down what's really going on. Savings tax is simple. You pay tax on the interest you earn above a set tax-free limit. This limit works like a personal allowance, but just for savings interest. The tax rate you pay matches your income tax band: 20% for basic rate, 40% for higher rate, and 45% for additional rate taxpayers. For example, if you're a basic rate taxpayer and earn £100 in interest above your allowance, you'll owe £20 in tax. Only the interest is taxed, not your original savings. The more interest you earn, the more likely you are to pay tax, especially now, with higher rates. The system was designed so most people with modest savings wouldn't pay tax, but that's changing fast. The tax-free allowance, which we'll cover next, was meant to protect savers, but rising rates mean more people are breaching it. Understanding how your income tax rate affects your savings tax is the first step to navigating this new reality. Let's see how much you can actually earn tax-free. The Personal Savings Allowance, PSA, is the key figure here. Basic rate taxpayers can earn up to £1,000 in interest tax-free each year. For higher rate taxpayers, the allowance drops to £500. Additional rate taxpayers get no allowance. Every pound of interest is taxed. With today's higher rates, even modest savings can push you over these limits. For example, £20,000 saved at 5% interest earns £1,000, using up the entire PSA for a basic rate taxpayer. For higher rate taxpayers, just £10,000 at 5% maxes out the £500 allowance. There's also a special starting rate for those with very low incomes, but it applies to only a small group. For most, the key numbers are £1,000, £500, or zero. Now, let's see why so many are suddenly affected. Why is this a problem now? 2 reasons. Interest rates have soared, and the tax-free allowance hasn't budged since 2016. With rates at 5%, you only need £20,000 in savings to hit the £1,000 PSA, down from over £100,000 when rates were low. For higher rate taxpayers, just £10,000 at 5% breaches the £500 limit. The PSA hasn't increased with inflation or interest rates, so its real value keeps shrinking. More savers are now pushed over the threshold and into the tax net. This frozen allowance is quietly dragging millions into paying tax on their savings. Responsible savers are now penalised by a system that hasn't kept up with economic change. And there's another hidden factor making things worse. Enter fiscal drag. when tax thresholds are frozen but wages rise. As pay increases, more people are pushed into higher tax bands, shrinking their PSA from £1,000 to £500 towns. So, you pay more tax on both your income and your savings. The government's freeze on tax thresholds until 2028 means millions are affected. Even if your pay rise just covers higher bills, you could still lose half your savings allowance. This stealth tax is a major reason more people now face savings tax. It's a reminder. A pay rise can mean a smaller tax-free buffer for your savings. The tax system's moving parts are more connected than ever. Let's look at how you can protect yourself. The best defense? The individual savings account, or ISA. All interest, growth, and dividends in an ISA are tax-free, no matter your income or how high rates go. Every adult can put up to £20,000 a year into ISAs. Couples can shelter £40,000. Use your ISA allowance first, before putting money in regular savings accounts. For example, £20,000 in a cash ISA at 5% earns £1,000 tax-free without touching your PSA. Experts agree. Max out your ISA allowance to protect your returns. Whether saving short-term or investing long-term, ISAs are your first line of defense. Now, what about the future of that £20,000 limit? There's been talk of cutting the £20,000 ISA limit, but public backlash was swift. Consumer groups and building societies argued that cash ISAs are vital for millions. The government has now pledged to protect the current limit, recognising its importance for savers. This stability reassures people that ISAs remain a cornerstone of UK personal finance. While new savings incentives may come and go, the £20,000 allowance looks safe for now. For savers, that's welcome certainty. So, use your ISA allowance. It's still the best way to save tax-free. The system for collecting savings tax isn't perfect. HMRC struggles to match interest data from banks to the right taxpayers. Sometimes, 1 in 5 records is unreadable. This means some people get tax bills, while others slip through the cracks. It's not deliberate evasion, just a flawed system. To fix this, banks will soon have to collect customers' national insurance numbers, making it easier for HMRC to match data. This should make tax collection fairer and more accurate. The goal, a system where everyone pays what they owe. No more, no less. The savings landscape has changed. Tax is now a reality for millions of ordinary people. To protect your money, use your ISA allowance first, and manage non-ISA savings to stay within your PSA. Couples can double up on allowances by splitting savings. Check your tax code if you start earning taxable interest. HMRC may adjust it to collect savings tax. If you get a letter or bill you don't understand, don't ignore it. Ask for help. Saving is still crucial, but now you need to save smarter. Understand the rules, use tax-free wrappers, and keep an eye on your allowances. With the right strategy, you can keep more of your hard-earned interest. The taxman may be taking a bigger slice, but you can still make your savings work for you. Stay informed, stay proactive, and make every pound count.